Welcome to the Gary Newbon Sports Show. 200,000 of you joined us last week. Keep the hits coming. This is what is in week 5 for you. Former world champion Ricky Hatton tops the bill. Only a true friend would be able to say this about Tyson Fury.
You know, I've seen him when he was going through his bad times. You know, when he was, 10 stone over. 10 stone overweight.
Wow.
He even beat Ricky Hatton. 10
Great
stone
line.
overweight. And, I'm going through a really bad traumatic time. And he used to say to me about making a comeback. And I used to think, I'm not bothered about your comeback, Tyson. I'm more concerned about your health.
Ashes hero Ian Bell welcomes the return of this summer's Test cricket. Football manager Neil Warnock on a rescue mission and missing the booze.
I still would rather be booed than have nobody watching, if I'm honest. It does take a little bit away. But I'm sure, hopefully, everybody will be back soon.
And Wickham are off to Wembley. We're joined by their manager, who has plenty to sing about.
Well, I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. The pretty girls are, well, you know I'm around. I love them and I kiss them, 'cause to me are all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the wanderer, yeah, the wanderer.
All that to come. We're going to begin with an exclusive interview with one of our most popular world boxing champions of all time. Ricky, the hitman Hatton, used to take thousands of fans to watch him in Las Vegas for some memorable fights. I talked to him earlier.
Ricky Hatton, great to catch up with you. What have you been doing during the lockdown?
I've been very, very fortunate to be there. I can't say like everybody that I've enjoyed it, but I have used it to my benefit. I've been able to see me kids every day, and with them nothing much to do, I've been doing plenty of running and plenty of training in the gym. I've lost a stone in weight, which is fantastic. And I think the first week was the worst week for me, because I think we all panicked. We all thought, "Oh my Lord, what's happening here?" But then when I got in a little bit of a routine, I sort of like treated it like a training camp. When I used to go into training camp for 12 weeks, I used to run every day, train every day, diet every day, no alcohol, so it was like, and that's what got my mindset into thinking. I treat it a little bit as a training camp, but it is now, it's refreshing now that we're coming back to a little bit of normality, because it's been horrific, isn't it? Never in my lifetime did I think that we'd have something like this, but I think we're coming to the end of it now, hopefully.
Now, you've been helping the homeless as well. I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, well, I'm the patron for the homeless, and I always, it's such a big, massive problem now. I mean, whatever city in the country you are, you walk down the street and they're just everywhere, and I just feel so sorry for them. You know what I mean? And especially, in a time like as if it wasn't bad enough for them anyway. Yeah. But now with this epidemic that we've had now, it absolutely breaks my heart. And I know a lot of people turn around and say, well, they're there for some people are there for obviously their own reason, but some people have come from broken homes, relationships, or lost loved ones and stuff like that, and that's why I'm on the street, and it breaks my heart because I'm a family person. Yeah. And when I think these people are on the street, that they haven't got, never mind, they haven't got family, they haven't even got a house, a roof over their head. It just breaks my heart, and it's, I guess it's just about giving a little bit back.
Yeah. Great. And talking of family, you've been in the garden with Campbell doing a bit of training. How old is he now?
He's 19, Campbell, and he's. I don't think no dad had a better son, to be honest with you. He's an absolute credit to me. He makes me proud every single day. And as far as his boxing goes, I think I don't want to put any more pressure on his shoulders than what he's already got. But I think he might have half a chance. He's dedicated. He's got a good personality. He's got a good, exciting style. He's dedicated. He listens. He learns. And the fights that he's lost in the amateurs is always by a lot more experienced lads. The lads. He's had about 28 fights now, and the lads with the same number of fights don't want to fight him. I don't know if it's because of the name or whatever it is. So he's fighting lads with double the amount of fights, and he's just getting beat by the skin of his teeth. Which I said, even though you're losing, son, I said it's progress. And like I say, I think he might have half a chance, Gary. It's exciting times, to be honest.
If you felt he was good enough, would you let him turn professional?
Absolutely. I think he will go professional. I think he'll make a better professional than he would an amateur.
Yeah.
But
why?
Because he's got a style like me. He's like, I've taught him in the Ricky Hatton mode, and that he changes angles and he pushes and shoves and motors, and he's aggressive, which sometimes in the amateurs sometimes hasn't helped him a little bit. But he would make a better professional than an amateur, but he can't go professional yet until he learns a few more of the fundamentals and the subtleties a little bit. This game. I always say to Campbell, I said, I was like a bull in a china shop when I first turned professional, and that's why I got cut every 5 minutes. I said, and then you've got to learn, you've got to tweak the style a little bit, and that's where he's at. But he's got massively exciting style, and he's the minute you open him out, he talks more rubbish than me, to be honest with you. Personality, he's got the whole thing, and I'm excited. You can never, I think he might have half a chance, but I don't want to put. So let's just see how it goes.
Absolutely. Now, talking of fighters, I mean, the two Tysons. First of all, Tyson Fury. Remember a picture a year ago of when he was really overweight. You've got a good relationship there. You helped him a bit. Yeah,
he trains in my gym whenever he's in Manchester, and it's me and Tyson have been friends for years, and we're not on speed dial as they say, but I've known him years, and I've seen him when he was going through his bad times. When he was 10 stone over, 10 stone overweight.
Wow!
He even beat Ricky Hatton in that. 10
Great
stone
line.
overweight, and I'm going through a really bad traumatic time, and he used to say to me about making a comeback, and I used to think personally, I'm not bothered about your comeback, Tyson. I'm more concerned about your health. Yeah. But he's never mind his health. He's come back tenfold, and and to do what he's done in the ring with the Wilder fights, and after all his problems and all that, and he's doing his own little thing for mental health and stuff like that. Because I think years ago his reputation wasn't the best because he couldn't open his mouth without upsetting someone, and And I think, but now he's on the straight and narrow, and he's doing what he's doing. People are seeing the real Tyson Fury now. You know what I mean? The Tyson Fury I knew always existed, but nobody respected him a few years ago because every time he opened his mouth, he upset one. But now they're seeing the real man, and it's from where he's come from to what he's done. It is an inspiration, and just to have him train in my gym and all my novice professionals be able to stand from a distance and watch how he prepares, how he's training, how he's turned his life about. It's been really, really inspiring. He's a very, very special human being, Tyson. He really is, honestly.
Were you at the first Wilder fight? You weren't in the corner, were you?
Yeah, I was in the corner.
I thought I saw you there. Yeah,
for the first Wilder fight. I thought he won it.
Yeah,
but it was incredible. You know what I mean? He lost 10 stone in weight. He had 2 little warm-up fights and then went straight in against
incredible.
A power punching machine like Deontay Wilder, and he should have got to this decision. But when he got knocked down, and how he got up and come back after it, it's like it really was scratch your head type thing. It was incredible. I feel very I'm not blowing smoke up his backside, but I feel very proud to know Tyson because I've seen him at the bad days, and I've seen him come back to where he's got. And in that last Wilder fight, when he just was so just on a different level, from where he's come from I think, it was just incredible. It's incredible. And I hope, fingers crossed, Gary, that we get the Tyson and Joshua fight now, because, I mean, a few years ago, you never heard it. You didn't know a British heavyweight's name.
No.
And now we've got the two best fighters on the planet. And if that fight doesn't happen, it'll be a tragedy for British boxing, I think.
It will happen, I think, next year. Both sides are very confident.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Before we move on, who wins that one, Ricky?
I would, I've been very fortunate, as I said to you, that I've been able to see Tyson up close in the gym and everything like that. And I think in his last fight, he showed that, if he wants to box, he can box. If he wants to have a fight and bash you, he'll fight you. If he wants to be unbelievably defensive, I think I saw, and it's no disrespect to Anthony, obviously, obviously we're all, as British fight fans, we're proud of what AJ's done, and stuff like that. But I think Frank Warren did an interview the other week, and he couldn't have summed it up any better for me. As Anthony got more hand speed than Tyson, though. As he got more defence and ability and movement, as he got better footwork, and when you nail it down like that, I think it's no foregone conclusion, obviously, but I think he's just a little bit better in every department. I think he's just such a versatile fighter. He can adapt to any, and I think that's what will gives him the edge for me. But in every ways, you can never say never.
One punch.
Yeah, and Anthony proved in his last fight against Ruiz what a good boxer Anthony is as well. But I just think Tyson ticks more boxes for me.
The other Tyson as well, Mike Tyson. I interviewed him for 1 hour in Sporting Heroes for Sky. And he's a lot calmer these days, a lot more approachable, I found.
He is, yeah. I mean, I've met Tyson on many occasions, and we all know the history with Tyson. But I mean, it's inspiring, like Tyson Fury. It's inspiring as well to see where he's come from to where he is today. He does motivational speaking now on stage and stuff like that. It really he's come on tenfold. A little bit. I hope he's taking the mickey with his talks and making a comeback, because I mean, for his age, he looks fantastic in that gym, but he's still 50 plus.
Yeah.
And and to be honest with you, I don't want to see enemy heroes get hurt, and that's what he is, as a hero. Unbelievable. I hope I'm in the same shape as Tyson is when I'm 53. But the talks have come back. We've got to save Tyson from himself, or boxing, or the governing bodies have got to save him from himself. We can't let Mike fight at 53, no matter how fantastic a shape he is, which he is in unbelievable shape. We're still 53. Let's calm it down, Mike.
You kindly invited me to your comeback fight was it November 12? Shouldn't really have taken that fight in hindsight, should you? Well,
I should have picked an easier fight for my first one back. Yeah. World champion, and stuff like that. But I made my comeback for different reasons. It's been well documented, the problems I had with my drink and my drugs and my depression and the suicide attempts and stuff like that. And I was always a man of the people. And then when that story came in the paper of me, I thought, I had a feeling that I thought everyone looked at me and thought, he's a hypocrite. He comes across as this kid next door and everything like that. And I felt like my proudest ever achievement was my fan base. And I felt like I'd let so many fans down. But the only thing I could say is at the time, because of problems in my personal life and getting beat by Pacquiao, I fell out with Billy Graham, I fell out with my mum and dad at the time. I can only ask for sympathy because I was a very, very poorly person. But I had to feel like I had to get my respect back. I know a lot of fans say, no, Ricky, we've all had problems, you're no different. I felt I needed to get me, so that's why I made the comeback. And
I understand that.
And I was of the opinion, well, no disrespect to Senchenko. I think a few years ago, I'd like to think I'd have wiped the floor with him. No disrespect to him.
You would have done, I can tell you that.
And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going to have a serious comeback, if I can't beat you, then that tells you what you need to know. Give it up. And I nearly did it by the skin of my teeth, and he got me a body shot. But it was one of the best fights of my life in the sense because I knew I could go into retirement happy now.
Yeah.
I got rid of my demons. I picked up a dangerous opponent, probably far too dangerous than I should have done. I got over my demons. I made me come back and lost all that weight. And a lot of people looked at me. You've had your problems, Ricky, like we've all had. But from where you've come from to do what you did on Saturday night, fair play to you. And I could go on and move on with my life from that point on then.
I understand that, Ricky. I mean, you got stopped in the 9th of the 10th rounds. Actually, your fabulous career, and it was a fabulous career, 48 fights, just 3 defeats, and they were in those 3 defeats came in the last 5 fights. There's so much to talk about in your career, but the one thing I'd like to ask you about is the Floyd Mayweather fight in 2007 in Las Vegas at the MGM. He said afterwards, you, even though he beat you in the 10th round, you were the toughest competitor he ever met. I mean, that is some compliment towards the end of your career.
Well, very much so. And I mean, when even, you look at the people that Floyd fought after he fought me, like the Canelos and the people like that, it makes me feel so proud of the performance. And when you look at, when people are talking about the best fighters of all time, on websites or papers and stuff like that, it's like Floyd Mayweather is, in every one of them, is number 1 of all time. Manny Pacquiao was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think to myself, apart from the comeback fight, which obviously, for the reasons we just spoke about, apart from that, the only 2 people that beat me are 2 of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So how can I argue? And I still think, on the night, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. The referee, Joe Cortez, I mean, I'm not going to make myself sound like an idiot by saying
this is the Mayweather fight, isn't it?
Yeah, the only reason Mayweather beat me was because of the referee. That's not the case. He's Floyd Mayweather. But sometimes the greatest can all get beat. Jake LaMotta beat Sugar Ray Robinson once, but he got beat 5 times. But I think sometimes on that night, I think I was throwing him out of his stride a little bit. I was bullying him a little bit, and I think if the referee hadn't been doing what he was doing, I think I might have pushed him. I'll always take that to me grave. But I mean, at the end of the day, fighting Floyd Mayweather gave me, my family, my kids, a life I could have never dreamed of. Fighting Floyd Mayweather. And to be honest with you, I feel blessed that I worked hard and I deserved my shot to get to fight Floyd. I was unbeaten, 2-weight world champion. But I'll always be forever grateful for what my family's got and everything, from that I was born in the same era as Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, he's been sensational. You've been terrific as well. And I have to say that what I really also loved about you, Ricky, besides your attacking style, no wonder you're called the Hitman, were the 10,000s or more English fans, British fans who followed you to Las Vegas. I mean, that must have been for you a sensational experience as well.
Well, people say, what was your best win? And I'll say the Costa fight.
Yes.
And I fought the Mayweather and Pacquiao and Molinari and Castillo and everything like that. But when people say, what was your best achievement in boxing? I would have to say my fan base. Because, I remember when Frank fought Mike Tyson in Las Vegas. He took 10,000 Brits over. And that was a record, 10,000 Brits. I took 40,000 Brits over.
Yeah.
And that I had more fans than the people I aspired to be. Which, your Nigel Benns and your John Contes and your Frank Bruno, I no disrespect to all, I had a bigger fan base.
Yeah.
So how can that not be, all these legends I've just mentioned, how can that not be my greatest achievement? And it doesn't matter how many belts you've got in your trophy cabinet or how much money you've got in the bank. When you retire, the belts are there and everything, but the love from the fans always remains, and it's still proud. I went to Manchester last night. I'm walking down the street, and they're singing "There's Only One Ricky Hatton."
Beautiful.
And it's and I'd like to think, like you said, people supported me because obviously I was an exciting fight to watch. But I think people supported me because of I'm no different to the man in the crowd that's supporting me. And I think, and that's the proudest thing I took into retirement.
I can't top that, Ricky. Absolutely smack on. Thank you so much for the interview, mate. Great to catch up with you. And many happy memories over the years you've provided everybody.
Keep safe, Gary. Keep safe.
To book Ricky the Hitman Hatton, please contact Paul Speak. His email address, speak3536@aol.com. Well, from one sporting character to another, the football manager Neil Warnock. Now, he thought he'd retired only to answer a call to save Middlesbrough from relegation from the Championship.
Of the 91 clubs in the Premier League and the EFL, Roy Hodgson is the oldest at 72. You're 480 days behind him at 71, the second oldest. Why do you want to do this, Neil?
Well, if I'm totally honest, if it hadn't been for Steve Gibson, I would be feeding the duck at the moment, or probably having a fish at the bottom of the garden. It was just I've always respected Steve, and when he telephoned me and asked me if I could help out, I said to Sharon, I'd love to help him out, darling, and she gave me a blessing. And that's why I'm here, I think it's a fabulous club, really good club. I really enjoyed Cardiff, and so did Sharon. It's the best I've ever known her at Cardiff. She loved the fans, the place, and she's going to come up, I think, for the last week up here. So, I think we've just got to try and do the best we can. I'd like to think it's all right saying if we go down, you can come straight back, but there's a lot of big clubs in that division that haven't come straight back up. It's not as easy as that, Gary, and that's why we've got to really compete to try and stay in this division. Because as daft as it sounds, I don't think they need drastic improvement to do well in the Championship. It's just the 3 or 4 players which are missing, I think, are the vital cogs of the team.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm aware of a story at home, because you live in Cornwall, about the Bluebells and Sharon. Can you share that story with me? It's a lovely story.
Yeah, I was down there in April. And obviously the coronavirus was put in. But I was at the top of the garden, and there's a big oak tree which has been there hundreds and hundreds of years. And on the bank on the floor, it was an amazing array of primroses and bluebells. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was just full of them. And I said to Sharon, "Wow, darling, look at that." I says, "I've never seen that before." She says, "You've never been here in April."
I tell you what, Neil, that is some commute. It was bad enough getting down to Cornwall from Cardiff, but from Middlesbrough,
I know.
Was it 6.5 hours? 6 hours?
That's right. Yeah, it is. Like I say, I don't think I could have done it for anybody else. It's just somebody I've admired, and the club that I do like as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's done for the club here is unbelievable. If anything, we're probably too comfy. Everybody's got everything they need. But it's on a like you say, on a limb up here. But it's great. North East is a great football hub, and I do bump into 1 or 2 people across the street now, and they're telling me where, they're already telling me where I'm going wrong and what have you. But I just want to try and help them out. That's all I want to do.
Do you think you'll stay on?
I've no idea. I think you've just got to think about the games. I've got nothing else in focus but the games.
Can I just talk about your assistants? I mean, managers like to keep their loyal assistants. You've got Kevin Blackwell and Ronnie Jepson. They obviously work very well with you. What do they actually do? Because we usually focus on you when we see
I know. They're in tandem. You see, the sessions that they put on, the training, which is very interesting and really good, and it's really intense. Some of them are that technical. I wouldn't have a chance of doing a session, mate. It's like bloody like with the computers, Gary.
Yes.
I get dizzy watching them. But they're brought up with all these qualifications and they've been on all these courses, and they are good. They complement each other. Ronnie's more of a striker's coach, the forwards, and Blackie likes to organise everything, from whatever you're travelling and all the travel arrangements, and he likes to okay everything, and he's very thorough but very intense. So he needs Ronnie as much as Ronnie needs him, and together they give me ideas, they tell me things, and they're not yes men. I think a lot of managers have sort of yes men under them, and I don't think that's any good. We've always had one or two arguments over decisions, selections and things like that. But at the end of the day, they know I'm the final pick. But it's that I've never socialised with Kevin in whatever how many years. I think 86 I first worked with him at Scarborough. 86, 96, 16, 34 years, and I don't think I've ever been out with him at night. Because I see enough of him in the daytime, Gary.
Good line. Listen, you're known as the Red Adair. Now, Red Adair, for people who don't remember him, was the American who used to go and put out huge fires. So you've got a big fire to put out. I really hope you do it, Neil, because we love characters like you in the game, and you're always good fun.
Oh.
Pretty serious at times on the pitch. Obviously, you've got to be, but good luck on that, mate.
Thanks ever so much, Gary. I will. I'll be doing my best.
Yeah.
As always, I still would rather be booed than have nobody watching. If I'm honest, it does take a little bit away, but I'm sure, hopefully, everybody will be back soon.
Yeah, and that's a reminder. Don't forget to boo Neil Warnock. He works better when he's being booed.
Staying with football, and the longest-serving manager of the 91 clubs that comprise the Premier League and the EFL is the Wycombe boss. He's Gareth Ainsworth, and he's been in charge there for nearly 8 years. Well, he could take his club to an historic place in the Championship if his team beat Oxford United in Monday's League One playoff final. They were formed in 1887. What a day that would be. I spoke to Ainsworth after training today.
Gareth Ainsworth, two thoughts about this playoff final. First of all, Wycombe have only been in the Football League for 27 years. And secondly, you are the longest serving manager of all the 91 clubs in the Premier League and the EFL.
Yeah, I mean, to have a club this new, I think in the Football League, everyone around this area has got their own teams historically. We're close to QPR, we're close to Brentford, we're close to these London sides. And then this team came into the league in the 90s. We're slowly getting a new generation of fans in, and this would hugely help, if we could achieve the unthinkable this season. But yeah, and being the longest serving manager again, very proud, and obviously shows what faith has been put in me at times when it's been pretty tough as well. I'm not sure they could have afforded to sack me at times, but we're definitely still here and hopefully paying off a few loyalty points through the years there.
Well, if they make some money in the Championship, you'll be able to get a better internet connection. That's one thing. How do you think you're going to approach Wembley? I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Right, I've been there before, Gary. In 2015, we went up with Wycombe against Southend in League Two. We, knowing the story, we lost on penalties, and probably we weren't ready for it. So having the experience is going to be a big plus for me as a manager. I was there as a player. Again, was ironically in '94. So it's always involved Wycombe at Wembley for some reason, and this is my third time with Wycombe. So I'm hoping there's a little bit of lady luck shining down on third time lucky, but we'll be approaching just as a normal game. It's going to be very different with no crowd there, and so I'll be making the boys well aware of that with the upcoming stuff that may happen. It's going to be a strange affair, but we're looking forward to it.
So in 1994, you were there as a player at Preston, and I can reveal that you got a deliberate yellow card. Can you you lost that one to Wycombe, as you said, 4-2. What was the story behind that yellow card?
Well, the story goes that allegedly I got too late on in the game, Gary, and back in the day when you got booked, and we're talking 94 now, so real back in the day, you used to get a letter from the FA when you got a booking, no matter what game it was, giving you what the booking was for, how many points you got. Crazy in those days. You got 2, 3 or 4 points for a booking depending on the offence, and the big thing for me was where the offence took place. So I may or may not have thought with a 4-2 scoreline in the last couple of minutes of the game, I thought, well, getting something out of Wembley may be nice to have Gareth Ainsworth booked for maybe a late tackle on the goalkeeper. Location, Wembley Stadium. Believe me, I've still got that. And so if I did get anything out of that game, it was a bit of memorabilia in the wrong way. But I wasn't going to let the occasion go without a memento. Yeah, that was That was the only thing I did bring back from that day.
Can I ask you, Gareth, about two of your old players, 38 and 36, I think. Adebayo Afin. I always get that wrong. I'll do that again. Adebayo Afinwenfa. No, can you pronounce it?
Oh, you come on, it's Akinfenwa. So it took me a few weeks as well, Gary, believe me. But it's Adebayo Akinfenwa. I'm sure Bayo is used to people pronouncing his name all sorts of ways. But you know when this guy walks in a room, never mind when he walks on a football pitch, he's just amazing for this club. You know, what he brings to Wickham as a person is far outshines what he brings on the pitch, but what he brings on the pitch is just, it's immense, Gary. I mean, I put him on the other night at half time against Fleetwood in the second leg, just because we needed a dynamic change to that game. Believe it or not, the dynamic change came. Like I say, you know when he enters a pitch, and the opposition definitely know when he enters a pitch, and there's not many ways to defend him when he's on his game. Fantastic human being as well, a real humble guy, down to earth, and worked his absolute socks off to have the career he's had. And he scored 200 goals in his career. You don't do that if you're a slouch. He's a fantastic player.
No, he's played nearly 700 games, I think. An incredible number of games.
Yeah.
680th game the other night.
Wow.
Amazing. And he's 16 stone plus, I would think. He's quite a size, isn't he? It's not your average football size, is it?
Well, we don't weigh him. There's no weigh-ins for Bayo anymore. So what's the point? You know, he uses his size. He needs his size, and I'm not sure he knows how much he weighs at the moment, but he definitely affects the game, and that's all I need to know.
Absolutely. Now, what about Matt Bloomfield, your captain? First of all, is he fit to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the measure of the man is going down in probably what was the 20th minute the other night and saying, Gaffer, this is the most important historical game of Wickham's league history. I'm not 100%. I need to come off. My groin's tightening up. What a fantastic example that is, because he could well have said, I'm the captain. I want to stay on. I want to achieve and get to Wembley, and I'll be selfish. But no, he would put Wickham before anything, even his own minutes on the pitch. And that's just the mark of Matt Bloomfield. He's just an incredible machine. He's an athlete. He's as fit as he ever was, and I think he's playing some of the best football of his career at the moment.
Your opponents, Oxford. We mustn't forget them.
No.
Tell me what you know about them.
Oh, it's difficult looking at the two games, obviously, which we're going to do. They're obviously going to look at our two games. We'd like to go back a bit further, but the lockdown was the last 3 months. And so form really does go out the window. And we'll have to look at what they did against Portsmouth, two real cagey games. But they're a good side. You know, Carl Robinson, obviously wily old fox, and he's only 39 years old. So that sort of contradicts itself. But he has been around the game for so long. He's had promotion to the Championship. He's managed much more clubs than me, so he, again, experienced on that. But you know, it's going to be a good battle. We always have this unspoken rival with Oxford. They're a historic club, been around years and years, and then this upstart of a club just down the M40 comes up into the league, and I don't think the Oxford fans like being the M40 derby, but I'm going to call it that because we're the closest club to them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do against Oxford on Monday. Okay,
just to say about one thing, and that is that your mother was a professional singer, and your nickname as a footballer was the Wild Thing. Don't have to explain that. And you do front up some bands in your time, rock bands, the Cold Blooded Hearts, I think, the latest.
Yeah.
You're good at it as well, I'm told.
Well, I appreciate whoever's told you that, but it's a passion, Gary. You know, when I was growing up, it was almost the route I was taking. You know, Mum taught us to sing when we were young, and music's always been in the family. Big, you know, Brenda Lee and Dusty Springfield fan. You know, Mum, she was great, and then Dad was the Who and Hendrix and the Stones. So it was always going to be in me, and I've often been asked which life I could have had, and would it be Lionel Messi and Mick Jagger, and I think the hair says the answer. So I'll leave you with that one. But yeah, football becomes a brilliant second. I love my music, and no, I'm not going to sing you out, but I'm hoping I'm doing some singing on Monday night.
Absolutely. Third time lucky for Wickham, hopefully. And Gareth, good luck. Thanks a lot. You've had a great season, and you need to cap it off now, but there's always Oxford in the way, of course. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Gary, and appreciate all the support from all the Wycombe fans. Cheers.
Meanwhile, the former England batsman Ian Bell has just signed a new contract with Warwickshire. He's been with this county for 22 years, a wonderful feat at Edgbaston. He was a legend, of course, in the England team. England against West Indies is underway. What did Ian think about the current England team?
You had 11 years in the England team. You've had a great career, 118 tests, 161 one-days, 22 centuries in the full test. How does this team, do you think, at the moment, this squad, compare with some of your teams at England?
Well, I suppose it's difficult. I suppose this team is probably still trending on an upward start. I wouldn't say it's the finished article at the moment. I suppose the wealth in experience with Jimmy and Broady in particular with the ball is a massive helping factor, certainly in English conditions. But the batting is, I suppose, still work in progress. I think our middle order, in particular with Root and Stokes, that they're at sort of 4-5, is our senior player and probably our best players. And obviously at the moment, it looks encouraging in the way Dom Sibley started his career and Rory Burns and Zach Crawley as well. It's encouraging signs, but I suppose they're still finding their way and establishing themselves at that level. But if we do get a platform, I think at the moment with this group, then like I said, we have got an exciting middle order, and we can compete with anyone. But I suppose it's with this group at the moment, I suppose it's getting the consistency right day in, day out with the bat to allow our bowlers to go and get 20 wickets to win a test match.
And Ben Stokes, who's turned his life around, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops as a captain if he gets more opportunities.
100%. I think we're all excited to see what he can do. Like you said, his last 12 months has been absolutely incredible. The stuff he produced on that World Cup final was incredible. And then that, not just that performance, but the Headingley innings again was something, we'll never see again, really. I thought the reality of what he did at the end was incredible, sort of switching into, I suppose, T20 mode. But, his defence and the way he played the test match in particular, the way, like I said, his defence at the start of that innings was absolutely, again, some test match, of the highest quality. And he has become an incredible cricketer now. And, and hopefully the captaincy won't be an extra burden that will, I suppose, tame him as a cricketer, because I've seen it with Fred as well. The fact that actually these guys, the way they play, they're leaders anyway. You don't necessarily need to be captain to be a leader within that group. And generally, I think, Stokesy is the man they turn to, whether it's looking for a wicket or the pressure situations on in any format. Stokesy is the go-to man. So I think we're excited. I'm sure he'll do a great job. Whether he won it full time, and have the extra burden, day in, day out is we'll only find out down the line. But I'm pretty sure he'll step up to the plate pretty well, as he has done in different times in his career, and it's exciting for him and for England this week.
Ian, only 3 Englishmen have ever won 5 Ashes. Wilfred Rhodes, before our time, 1899 to 1926. He played in 11, won 5. Ian Botham played in 7 Ashes, England against Australia, of course. And you have played quite a few as well. All 3 of you, the only 3, have won 5 Ashes. That is some achievement, isn't it? Ian, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck when you finally get on the field. August the 1st is meant to start. Hopefully all will be well. Thanks a lot, mate.
No worries. Cheers, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the quality of the internet in Warwickshire, a little under par by our normal standards, but it was well worth listening to one of England's greatest ever batsmen, Ian Bell. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Spread the word. We're back next week. Goodbye.